Hi guys, I'm live and I'm on my walk. How you guys doing? I just want to rant a little. First of all, the end of the auction for the first pedal is tomorrow. Moderator's coming over to Studio 666 with me about 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're gonna finalize the winner of the auction to buy the first radiator for sale. And we'll jam and hang out, and the moderator is going to fix my radiator. It's got a couple things he's got to update about it. And then I'll just jam and we'll go live, and it'll be great. I'm looking forward to it. Plus, it's the end of the auction. So, last I heard, it was up to $335 or something. But I'm not an expert in that department. But the moderator is going to give me 1/3 of whatever the cost, whatever the pedal goes for. I'm going to get 1/3 of that in cash, live tomorrow. So there's that. Secondly, the rocking, I'm really happy with what I did last night. I didn't get very much sleep because I rocked till midnight, got a couple hours, woke up at 4, and then started rocking all the rest. Didn't go back to sleep, rocked all the morning. I did, I redid Everybody Wants Some by Van Halen because I really screwed it up the first that I tried it a week ago. I just didn't have it, so I needed to do that, and I enjoyed it. And then I did Big Trouble by David Lee Roth with Steve Vai on guitar. I love David Lee Roth. I love the Eat 'Em and Smile album, and I've got some coming up in that direction as well soon. And then I did a double take of Aerosmith. I did Walk This Way and Sweet Emotion. Both of those are off Toys in the Attic, 1977. Great album. Aerosmith, great band. And then I did Lucille by Little Richard. It actually came from. I was watching Deep Purple play a gig in 1972 in Denmark, Copenhagen, Denmark, or something like that. And as one of the last songs, they did a Little Richard song, and it was Lucille. So that is what's inspired me to do that. So I learned that and did that. And I got some stuff tonight I want to do that's cool. And I just recently did Thirst from the Sun by the Jimi Hendrix Experience. I'm really happy with that, the way that turned out. I finally got a good take out of it, and that's kind of like the cover of covers to me. It's kind of like if you can do that cover, you're well on your way to doing whatever music you want to do. At least in my humble opinion, So that was not only a great song that I've only seen two other people besides myself cover it, and that's Eric Johnson and Stevie Ray Vaughan, and of course Jimi Hendrix did it, and I covered it. The third person I've seen cover that song in my whole life, so that's cool. And rather than say what I'm going to do tonight, I just want to make it a surprise. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm doing really good. I just want to say that I've met some great friends. Let me get it straight here. Let me think. I got to think. Oh gosh, I got to think the names. Alicia and her daughter Gia and her son Zane. And sorry about that, Alicia. It took me a while to remember your name. I just have, brain fart there. Phone in her car, and she was so nice to return it, and then Gia and Zane are fans. Zane wants to take guitar lessons from me, and they were so nice to return my phone. And I think that showed me that I'm not my phone. That if I lose my phone, I'm still here. And not only that, some people are trustworthy. Some people are honest. And she brought the phone back. And within a couple hours, I had my phone back. And I thank you, Alicia, for that, and for giving me a ride and how nice you guys were to me. And then Gia is a fan too, and she had a stuffed animal that she knows I like stuffed animals. At least I told Alicia I do. And here's the siren. Those things are so dang loud. Oh my God, what are they trying to do? Is it MK Ultra or something? I don't know. I gotta plug my ears. Sorry. Okay, I guess that quieted down. Thank you. So Gia knew I love stuffed animals. So she got me this cute doggy that I call Martin the Mutt, and I put him behind my door in my bedroom. He guards the door. And thank you, Gia. And I think that that was a good experience for everybody because. There's still love in this world, and there's still good energy, and we can bring rock and roll back, and at least to an extent, if not totally, and we can heal the brokenness of the Bush-inspired PNAC, Project for a New American Century, and the 9/11 shit, and the Patriot Act and all that. That was totally sham. That was our own guy. That was our own people that blew those buildings up just so they could slap us with the Patriot Act. They drafted it in 1986, which is 15 years before 9/11 even happened. So, and why would they choose 9/11? That's our distress call. They wouldn't know that or care about that. The Bush and his people picked that because they knew that American people would react to it. So I'm here to heal that and do it through rock and roll. So thank you. And what else? What else was I saying? Let me think. I'm gonna rock tonight. And I almost forgot. This is just an afterthought now about the hate thing. I want to discuss that a little bit. And I thought of it last because it's the least of importance of anything I'm going to say. I think right now, even though I might do a music theory thing after this. We'll see. But I'm healing from the hate thing too. I think a lot of the hate problem and the hate drama and dilemma is that when the person doesn't want to be hated, it creates drama when they're hated. But there's two ways to cure that drama in that equation. One is for the haters to stop hating, but that doesn't happen often. Even if they do, more haters will just take their place probably. In other words, the haters don't stop. But the other way to solve the drama is if the person being hated accepts it and doesn't fight it anymore and agrees to be hated when it's time to be hated. And I think I've reached that point. It's not a perfect world. And if I'm hated at a certain time or if I'm hated in some way, I let it I agree. That's okay. I consent. You have my consent to hate me. You have the right to hate me. I have the right to do whatever I want, so I guess you have the right to do what you want. And if that means hating me, then you have the right to hate me. And I'm just going to accept that and just let that be part of life and not fight it. Take a little bit of my part of that drama out of the equation. Because, maybe you enjoy hating. Maybe that heals you. Maybe that's your healing, is to hate me. And if that's the truth, then it's a good thing. It's good, maybe not good for me, or it doesn't seem to be good for me. But if I'm healing you by giving you someone to hate and that heals you, then I'm healing you. And who's to say that you're not worth healing either? I'm not here just to heal hater. If I heal haters by letting them hate me, then so be it. That's one way of healing. So, and then I to maybe talk about music theory for a second. I know it's a long, change of subject there. But I want to talk about music theory for a second. I've learned a lot about. I learned a lot from doing Elton John, Benny and the Jets, and I'm going to blab about it a little bit. If you have your thinking hats on and maybe get a guitar out or whatever instrument you play, a keyboard if that's what you play, maybe I learned something that'll help because it's very cool what I learned from him. So put your thinking hats on if you want. Here's music theory time. So. Let's talk about seventh chords. Seventh meaning 4-note chords. 1, 3, 5, 7. They have 4 notes in them. Now, you have two types of seventh chord that have a major triad as the root, the main first three root third and fifth of the chord. And that is the dominant seventh, which has a minor seventh for the fourth note, and you have a major seventh, which has some major seventh chord, which has a major seventh interval for the fourth note. So there's two types of sunscreen in my eyes. There's two types of major type of seventh chords: the dominant seventh, which has a major triad, and at the root, and a major seventh chord, which has a major triad at the root. Now here's the funny thing that's cool. If you sharp the root of either one of those seventh chords, you get a certain kind of chord that I think is cool. Let me explain. Take a major seventh chord. Let's say C major seventh, C, E, G, and B. If you sharp the root of a major seventh chord, you get a minor 7 flat 5 chord. So if you sharp the root of a C major seventh, which is C, E, G, and B, you get C sharp, E, G, and B, which is a C sharp minor 7 flat 5 chord, or C sharp half diminished chord. It's really simple. Just sharp the root of a major seventh chord and you get a minor 7 flat 5 chord, or half diminished seventh chord. Now, similarly, take a dominant seventh chord. Let's say G, G7, G dominant seventh, G, B, D, F. If you sharp the root of a dominant seventh chord, you get a diminished seventh, full diminished seventh chord. So if you sharp the G in a G7, G, B, D, F, you get G sharp, B, D, F, and that's a G sharp diminished seventh chord. And then turning the root, you get a diminished seventh chord, and then also a major seventh chord, sharpening the root to get a half diminished chord, or minor 7 flat 5 chord. And that's a really cool little jive thing to do there. And Elton John does that in Benny and the Jets. He has a part that goes, he does the intro, which is 2 chords. I've studied it more. Intro, which is 2 chords, which the 2 chords are, either you could call it C major seventh, you could even call it A minor ninth, and then it goes to an F major seventh. So it's really kind of in C major, which is cool, because the F major seventh is the 4 chord in C major, and C major seventh is the 1 chord in C major. But then he does a chromatic thing up to A, the note A, and that becomes the 2 chord in the new key, which is G major. He modulates to a sharper key. G major is 1 sharp from C major. So in the new key of G, which is 1 sharp from the C major intro, you have something that a chromatic ascent to the A chord, which becomes the 2 chord of the G major, because A is the 2 chord in G major. The A chord is minor 7, so chromatically up from G, the note G to G sharp to A minor 7th. That's a 2 chord in G 7th. Then it's D dominant 7th. That's the 5 chord in G major. Then it's G major 7th, which is the 1 chord in G major, and then he sharps the G note to a G sharp to make G sharp minor 7 flat 5, and then that minor 7 flat 5, G sharp minor 7 flat 5 progresses to A minor 7th again, and that makes it an A. Those 2 chords make it a melodic minor scale. Because interestingly, if you have a half diminished 7th chord on the leading tone of a minor key, you have a melodic minor scale. But if you have a diminished 7th chord on the leading tone of a minor key, you have a harmonic minor scale. So so because it's the G sharp is half diminished 7th, so it's a G major 7th with a raised root. That makes the D a D melodic minor scale for the time being. But it's not really melodic minor, because he plays A minor 7th, and A minor 7th has a natural 7th, which isn't in the melodic minor scale. So he's playing on it. It's an A Dorian / A melodic minor thing. And then once again, he progresses throughout the song. So what I said that to do was to say, I like altering a note in a chord to get a different chord rather than starting all over. Rather than starting all over from the root and what notes do I play, just take a major 7th chord and raise the root. You have automatically a minor 7 flat 5 or half diminished 7th. Take a dominant 7th chord, raise the root, you automatically have a diminished 7th. And if you can see like the harmonic minor scale, if it's an A, if it's A harmonic minor, then there's a G in A natural minor. There's a G dominant 7th. It's a flat 7 dominant 7th chord, and it would be G 7th, a G dominant 7th in the key of A minor. But if you sharp the root of the G dominant 7th chord, you get a G sharp diminished 7th chord, and that G sharp diminished 7th chord next to going to the A minor chord makes an A harmonic minor scale. And then also another example of if you take C, you want to play a C major 7th, and you sharp the root to C sharp gives you a C sharp half diminished 7th chord, and then if you progress that to a D minor chord, you have a D melodic minor scale, because here the C sharp is the leading tone of D, and the C sharp is a half diminished 7th chord, or minor 7 flat 5, and therefore, and then that progresses to the tonic, which is a minor triad, in this case D minor, and that makes a D melodic minor scale. That's why if you want a D melodic minor scale, you just take a Dorian mode and raise a 7th, and that raised 7th is what you get when you raise the G to G sharp, making it go from a G dominant 7th chord to a G sharp diminished 7th chord, which then when it goes to the A minor chord makes an A harmonic minor scale. So it sounds complicated maybe, but it's really beautifully simple. You know, what's easier on a guitar than just sharpening a note up a fret? You know, it's easy to do that. It takes very little effort, and if you understand what you're doing, it gets a good result, like you got in Beating the Jets, Elton John. All he did was take a C major 7th that was in the progression and raise the root to C sharp, which gave a C sharp minor 7 flat 5, 2 1 2 1. Then that C sharp minor 7 flat 5 went to a D minor 7th, which mimics a D melodic minor scale, which is a cool thing. And all that's in the key of G major when the opening intro was actually in C major, so there's a modulation there as well. There's interesting things happening in that song. Anyway, so I like that little relationship there with chord chemistry, you know. And just to spout out even a little bit more about scale theory now, it's along the same lines. I was thinking that, if you take a Dorian mode and you raise the 4th, you get a Dorian sharp 4. So in D, that would be D, E, F, G sharp, A, B, C, D, and that is the 4th mode of an A harmonic minor scale. But what if you take the D, what if you take the D Dorian sharp 4 and also raise the 7th, making it a D melodic minor with a sharp 4? Now you have two sharps. You have a C sharp, which makes the D Dorian into a D melodic minor scale, which then, because you have the 4th is sharped, which is G sharp, you have let me think what you have. G sharp, 4th mode. You have put it this way: if a Dorian sharp 4, which is a D Dorian with a G sharp, is the 4th mode of A harmonic minor scale, then sharpening the C to C sharp, then that C sharp makes the A triad instead of being minor, because an A minor triad is A C E. If you raise the C to C sharp, making it a melodic minor scale with a raised 4 on D, that raised C sharp raises the A minor triad to a major triad, because A major is A, C sharp, E. So when you start with a D Dorian, raise the fourth to G sharp gives you the fourth mode of A harmonic minor. Then raise the seventh of the D Dorian sharp 4 to C sharp. You get a D melodic minor with a raised 4, which is actually the fourth mode of of an A harmonic major scale. See, that's the thing. The only difference between a harmonic minor scale and a harmonic major scale is the third. So, if the fourth mode of A harmonic minor is D Dorian sharp 4, then the fourth mode of A harmonic major is D melodic minor sharp 4, because that melodic minor gives you a C sharp, and the C sharp in the key of in the root of A makes the A minor into an A major. You get A C sharp E, and that makes the scale into an A harmonic major scale. And since the D is the fourth mode of A, you get that means that a D melodic minor with a raised 4 is the fourth mode of A harmonic major scale. And there's all that little chord chemistry going on and scale stuff. I hope I didn't bore you. I could have just left it go, but I want to make sure I explain myself well. I didn't want to pass anything out, any detail up. But so that's one of Alan Holdsworth's 10 scales he mentions in his Alfred video, 1992 destruction video. He says that there's four main permutations of 7-note scales. With they don't give you an augmented third or diminished third. He didn't say that, but that's what it is. And if you start on D on all of them and alter it, you have D Dorian is a mode of C major that counts for that. Then you have a D Dorian with a raised 7th, which makes a D melodic minor. So there's that. And then he says if you take a D Dorian with a raised 7 with a flat 6, you would have a D Dorian that becomes a D melodic minor, but when you flat the 6, it becomes a D harmonic minor. So now you have D harmonic minor taken into consideration. The fourth scale, to get the harmonic major scale covered, you take a D Dorian, raise a 7th, that makes it a D melodic minor, and then raise the 4th of the D melodic minor, makes it the fourth mode of A harmonic major. And now harmonic major is taken into consideration, and he says he really likes that scale. It's one of his favorite scales. The fourth mode of a harmonic major scale is a Dorian mode with a raised 7th and a sharp 4, which is another way of saying it's a melodic minor scale with a raised 4th. So there's many ways of looking at that. And I like the scale analysis that Alan gave to us. And I love you guys. Peace, love, and rock and roll. Carrying 4 bags of groceries while doing all this. Love you guys.